Hello and welcome to the Hub World podcast for a very special Zelda 35th anniversary episode. Um, Today we're going to be sharing some thoughts on all things Zelda. We have 35 questions lined up that we're going to answer, and yeah, that's the deal today. So we actually have quite a few people here. Um, for those of you who don't know or have never listened to the Hub World or whatever, my name is Jules, and today I'm joined by.
Mateo from the Hub World.
Dino from the Hub World.
And we have some special guests today, and to introduce themselves, I will let them introduce themselves. Take it away.
I'm Adriano.
Hey y'all, I'm Sarah.
And Adriano and Sarah are our resident Zelda-like enthusiasts, experts. All of us kind of are, but they are also
Would you say that
massive
they're big
fans.
fans?
Heck yeah. Tis an honor.
Yeah, Zelda brought us together.
Oh yeah, we're engaged.
We wouldn't have met each other if it wasn't for the game.
Yeah.
So we welcome you to the first ever Hub World episode that you're going to be on, and yeah, we hope you have fun. So
Thank you so much.
Hey,
of course,
thank you for having
We
us.
appreciate the invite.
anytime we couldn't do this without as many Zelda experts as possible to make this episode even more special than it already is. So
I'm a Zelda expert.
Right? I'm like, heck yeah, I am.
and since we are all pretty big Zelda fans, we're sure things are bound to get heated. But things will also be fun. So, just to explain to our listeners, what we're doing is it's Zelda 35th anniversary this year. For those of you who didn't know, first game, The Legend of Zelda, came out 35 years ago. And so we thought we would do a little fun celebration of the series by doing 35 questions about Zelda that each of us are going to answer. Some of these questions we will break down and explain to you our reasons for our choices in said topic. Others we're just going to kind of say. But if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share your own opinions on Zelda, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube, or give us a follow on Spotify. So we're going to get started with quite a doozy to start. So the first thing we will all say is, who is our favorite Zelda character, and explain why. So I'm going to kick that one off. My favorite Zelda character is Midna from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I was... How do I explain this? I was a big fan of Midna as an imp, and when I saw her as a princess, I was even more of a fan. And I in general like her character. I like what she adds to the narrative. I like how she has a narrative significance, but she's also kind of like sassy, kind of like aloof, and like, I don't know. Just something about her character is super appealing, and I enjoy that aspect of her. So that's my answer.
For me, now I didn't have a favorite Zelda character until I had to write the name down on this piece of paper that I have in front of me. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Ganondorf, because Ganondorf has had a lot of he's actually had a decent amount of character development in the Zelda games. Like, he was just in Ocarina of Time, he was the main antagonist, and he was his character was just, he was power hungry, and he finessed his way into the position that he's in at the end of the game. But then in Wind Waker, he was like, you kind of almost feel bad for him because of like how badly, like, I don't want to get into Wind Waker spoilers, even though the game's like 18 years old. But for those who haven't played it, play Wind Waker. But Ganondorf is like, you almost sympathize with him a little bit. And then, but then back when you get to Twilight Princess, the next appearance of Ganondorf, he's back to his old ways, or like he's again like this tyrant, and you got to take him down. Ganondorf to me is one of the most complex villains probably in video games, I'd say. So for me, it's Ganondorf.
All right. I've never felt more ancient in my life until you said that Wind Waker was 18 years old. But y'all can call me basic. My favorite Zelda character is Link, and you can cite all of my 8th grade sketchbooks for that one. I don't think it really needs any explaining. Link is the best.
Valid.
All right. Well, my favorite character is Sheik. It's because first off, he looks really cool, and he's extremely wise. Like just every dialogue you have with him is just amazing, and I want to like tattoo his sayings on my arms, on my forehead.
Hey, I got one of his sayings on my arm. They are very wise.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if it's canon, but in the manga, he's like a double agent. He's kind of like betraying Ganondorf behind his back, and then you find out that it's really Princess Zelda. Oh, spoilers! But
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers for like a
game that is
20-year-old game.
25 years
22.
old.
Yeah.
And I based my OC off of him in grade 6, so with the red eyes and the blonde hair, and only half his face showing.
Oh gosh, all those drawings.
Right, on to the next person.
Yeah. See, you guys have gone on like kind of like your own personal favorites and stuff. When I think of my favorite characters, like which one to me stands out the most, and it's a really, really odd choice. I feel like a lot of mine will be odd. I wrote down King Zora. Adriano, you know why.
Weep.
It's like some of the really like out like as a kid and everything, right? Like playing video games, I was only really used to like humanoid characters, and like all of these weird, goofy alien or like monster looking creatures were always seen as like the enemies and stuff until I really like encountered the Gorons and then the Zoras, and I didn't really get too much attached to like the idea of the leader of the Gorons and stuff. But I don't know why, just King Zora is just like this little dude just chilling on his perch. You know, you have to unfreeze him a bit. He moves very, very slowly and makes a funny noise. And in later installments of the games, he's one of those like reoccurring characters that's always just titled as King Zora. Like while the leader of the Gorons always has a definitive name, King Zora is always just King Zora. And he's always kind of had the same look in all the games, so you know it's like I don't know. I just really liked that
That's fair.
one. Yeah, I don't know. And like even
Like
in Breath
that
of
one
the
moment in
Wild,
Ocarina of Time.
that one moment in Ocarina of Time really stuck out to me when he's just
Yeah.
moving, and then he like in Majora's Mask he became the band manager and stuff. Like I don't know. It's just I don't want to make like I wanted to make a silly choice for this one here because it's like it was either that or the bean guy. Just like I don't know why. I just like when I think of just like silly Zelda, yeah, the bean munching guy, like the magic bean seller, or the hand, right? Like I like a lot of those silly characters, and like King Zora made me laugh the most, so I'm gonna say King Zora for my favorite character.
That is so
Mad
valid. I'm so down. Mad respect. Okay, so now the rest of the questions that we're going to be going through next are going to kind of be like, they're going to be kind of like rapid fires. So we can give a little bit of context. We don't necessarily need to, but the next like I think it's like 9 questions are all character related. To stay with this kind of like character theme. So next question, number 2, favorite companion character. So I will kick that off. Now I actually have written down here Midna, but because I already said Midna is my favorite character, and while I do think she's my favorite companion, I'm going to say something different just for the sake of it. But I like Tattle and Tail.
You mean just Tattle, right?
I'm going to take them together. You know what? Tattle and Tail.
He's a
I know it's
companion.
just Tattle.
He's a companion to Skull Kid.
Fair. Yeah, there you go. Lawyered.
Wow.
So, for me, it's King of Red Lions, hands down. Like, he is my absolute favorite companion.
My favorite is Lineback.
Oh yes, I love that.
My favorite is Paddle. Because I think she's less annoying than Navi, and her sounds are pretty cool compared to Navi. And she's golden, and the way that she describes enemies are interesting. You know, it's like, what, you don't know about this guy? Yeah, just
Yeah, just like
walk
sassy.
slowly. Yeah, yeah.
See, I'm a Navi fan, just for sure and sure. Yes, I know. Hey, listen gets really annoying, but that was my text notification for a while, just because it was special. So yeah, I'm gonna say Navi.
That must have been very annoying. Actually, you know what?
It got me to look at my phone and check my message.
Well, that's true, you know.
I hate Navi slander, so thank you so much for speaking up for my girl.
Yeet.
So okay, so next one is number 3, favorite enemy. So I am gonna give a little bit of context to this, because this answer would have been different if I didn't literally just play Wind Waker. But my favorite enemy, I think, is the mini blins. The the little like moblins at like in Forsaken Fortress that just like I love those things. I don't know why they're just so
They're just
adorable.
wacky and goofy.
They're
They're so
anxiety
funny.
inducing. I run around before just screaming.
Well, Jules, I thought I was going to be creative and picking them, but you beat me to it. So they're my
Yeah.
favorite as well.
My favorite is the Deku Scrubs. They're so cute. I want one tattooed on me. I've always loved them.
Oh yes.
My favorite is Wolfos because I love wolves. But they're actually not that hard to fight. You know, you just they come close to you, backflip away, and then you just jump attack. Done. One hit KO.
Yeah.
I love
Done, noobs. One hit KO.
And they can get pretty big. Like the one in Ice Kyber and the white one's huge.
I'm gonna have to say Octoroks. They're pretty much in every single game, save for like one or two of them, and they just waddle around and shoot rocks at you. You gotta keep your defenses up. It's one of the first enemies you see, and they're iconic. I'll go with that.
I'm
I'm
literally
so
lying on
hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
Yeah, that too. The memes.
Excuse me.
No,
I'm
no.
literally lying on my Octorok plushie right now. So
Is that the one that we got you?
yeah,
Yeah.
the mochi.
Wow,
Okay,
happy birthday.
so favorite. The next one is number 4. Favorite non-Ganon villain. So you can't be technicality. Ganondorf isn't Ganon. No, any iteration of Ganon doesn't count. Favorite non-Ganon villain. So I was actually between 2 here, but I started to realize that my list had a massive Twilight bias. So I changed it, but I was a tie between a couple. But I think Twin Rova is my favorite non-Ganon villain, and I love the concept behind Twin Rova, and I hope that they explore them more in the future.
We need more Koum and Kotake.
Yeah, more Koma Kotak.
It's pretty cool that they're in the Oracle games too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want them in Breath of the Wild too.
That would be awesome.
interesting. Yeah.
So my favorite non-Ganon villain is Vati, and I think it is criminal that Nintendo has not brought Vati back since Four Swords Adventure. Was it Four Swords Adventures or Minish Cap?
It's Minish.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is criminal that Vati has not come back. Vati at one point was like the number two villain in Zelda, and now he's just like an obscure Nintendo villain that hasn't been in a game in forever. So he needs to be brought back.
He was never number 2, but okay.
I 100% agree with that. I love him. But my favorite is Zant. I'm a simp. That's all I have to say about that.
My favorite's actually also Vati.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, but specifically in his human and Picori form. It just looks so badass. You know, he just beat everyone in the sword tournament beginning of the game, and his hair just flows with energy. It's just so cool.
Yeah. I think we're gonna make this a 3-sweep. I'm also going Vati. Also, Minish. I really thoroughly enjoyed that game playing through it, and just the characterization that they gave the giant purple ball with an eye and giving the alternate form great with magic and everything. Vati definitely needs to come back in some way.
I'll
Yeah,
just say,
and yeah.
on behalf of Riley, he would be sick at us that nobody said Majora. So I'm just going to mention Majora for Riley's sake.
I felt it was too easy, especially
Yeah.
with first items.
I'm sad no one said Girahim. I'm also a fan.
Yeah, I was originally
do
going to
like
say
your
Zant.
I
I was
love
originally going to say Zant, but Zant
Yeah.
turning into a clown at the end of the game.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't
No, I'm
I
sorry.
love
Santa's
that.
hot. Santa's
That's
hot
the
as
big
best
time
part.
ruined the
Santa's
character for me.
Like Zant,
I
so-
liked the menacing character with the mask, and then when you see the face, it's just like no, and then turns into a clown. It's just like no, you ruined a good thing. Go away.
No, when he removes the mask, it shows it's. Oh no, I can go on a tangent. I'm sorry. I love him.
Yeah,
So much.
no, same
Anyway.
with me, Sarah. I agree with you. I'm like Zant was the other one I almost did, and
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let's just move on.
In a
Yeah.
nutshell, she loves him for the character development.
No, he's daddy. That's
yeah,
why.
I agree. Yeah, he's daddy. I agree though. Like when he took off his mask, that was the moment that
Yeah.
I loved him because I was like, damn, that development.
Same. Oh my god.
Okay, so the next one is, and I'm curious to hear this one from everybody. Number 5, favorite race. This is not race as in like the horse race. This is race
Damn
as
it.
in species.
Damn it! I had the otter races.
So it's favorite like Zelda like race or species. To which I hope none of us pick any of the ones introduced in Skyward, but we'll see.
I was gonna pick the weird umbrella fish things. JK.
They are kind of
Umbrella?
cute. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't remember their names.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Mine is and I think this one, like I was very close between two, but I think what solidified mine was their interpretation of Breath of the Wild. I love the Rito. The Rito are so cool. I love that the concept of like bird avian species in the Zelda universe, and there's so much history with like sky people in Zelda. So Rito for me.
For me, it is the Goron. Gorons are friggin' awesome. They're in
Heck yeah, brother.
yeah, exactly. I just love like the way they talk to each other and the way they talk to Link. I just love like the fact they eat rocks and like they have like the rock steaks and like the whole like the whole Goron like the vibe that they give off. Like they just seem super chill and awesome. I just love Gorons.
Mine are the Deku. I've already expressed that I want one tattooed on me, specifically the guards in front of the Deku Palace. They are so freaking cute. But yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I like them. They're cute. What can I say?
Yeah, she loves the subtype that's the guards, but also the ones that they judge your mask and open your time. The longer ones, the mustache.
They give me
Yes.
For me, it's the Zoran race, particularly from Majora's Mask, because I'm a musician and they have a huge concert hall, and I love just fooling around with the speakers. And yeah, it was so cool that they have their own music, and you can do a jam session with them. It's unbelievable. Like they give us. Oh, it's not. Oh, I didn't even put that as my favorite thing. But anyways, you can make your own song with them, and I thought that was so cool. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yep. I'm agreeing with Mateo on this one. Gorons are awesome. And just like eating rocks, making bombs, and just the one shopkeeper that's just completely unimpressed by anything. It's just there. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Giant
yeah.
Goron too.
The murderous giant Goron.
Yeah, the big Goron. Hey, the Gorons make the best swords. In Minish Cap, they give you the mirror shield. And also you get the what they do, like for instance, like their attachment to Darmani in Majora's Mask when they see you and they want to give you a big hug all the time. I'm down for that. Hugs are
Goron
awesome.
killed Darmani.
No. I mean, just like when they see Link running around and in the body, they're like, "Oh, it's so cold. Oh, hey, Darmani, what's up? How you doing, buddy?" They forget all their problems.
I do like their culture. Like their culture is so like brotherhood.
I mean,
sisterhood, like family based. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't be the
I
only
do.
one who is super traumatized by the nipples on the Gorons in Twilight Princess, though. Those things are
love-
way more detailed than they needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a
Especially the
little
old
shout.
ones.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to.
Great fairies.
I'd like to give a
Ukos.
shout out to the last Goron, like, or what we think is like the last Goron in Wind Waker. That guy's had a rough life. He needs some.
Oh, man.
He
He's
can't swim.
stuck on an island. He can't swim.
You
I
gotta
just feel
run
bad.
into-
Sending
bad
love
for the
to
guy.
Full of water. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. So number 6 is our favorite mount. Again, this isn't a mountain. Please don't
Damn it.
say.
The ice mountain. in
Please don't
Wind
say
Waker.
Death Mountain. Please don't say Snowhead. Favorite mount as in favorite favorite thing that Link rides throughout the game.
Zelda.
Oh
game.
my.
I guess in one particular case it doesn't necessarily have to be Link riding it, but anyway, I'm sounding. This sounds like a euphemism now. It's not. But anyway, my favorite mount is the King of
Put your
Red
fan
Lion.
fiction away.
I love the King of Red Lions as a boat, and I think it's awesome, like going through the like Great Sea and like him talking to you and like navigating you.
Once again, Jules, great minds think alike. I also picked King of Red Lions. I thought I was being smart. I'm like, Epona is cool, but like King of Red Lions is a friggin' boat. So he's a talking boat. So King of Red Lions.
My favorite mount is a Loftwing. In real life, I'm absolutely terrified of giant birds, but it kind of lets me live out that, fantasy of a world where I'm not terrified of giant birds and I can ride them through the sky. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Oh my god, guys! I had the same idea. The King of Red Lions. I mean, you don't suspect that that's usually a mount, right?
Some old man.
Yep.
Sit in me, child.
I thought I was like, oh, it's gonna be Chiku with this one. No one's gonna think of him as a mount. But wow, yeah, and I just like that when you get certain items, they take on a different form on him. Like when you get bomb, it's like a cannon, or the grappling hook is like a what you call it. And
It's like
I
a crane almost.
a crane, yeah, and I like the quick sale introduction in the Wii U version.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Onwards.
Gino, you got a smart ass pick or?
Well, actually, I think I do a bit of a smart ass response. I was also gonna say the King of Red Lions,
Oh my god.
but that seems really, really lame. But it's a bit of a smart ass response. What I'm gonna say, because I was thinking about it as you guys were talking, and I'm like, I don't want to be normies like the rest of you. I'm gonna say the Frozen Leaf from Twilight Princess, because that eventually turned into shield surfing, which is like a huge part of Breath of the Wild. Like, you do your shield surfing and stuff. You go around and you can get some like crazy distance and play around with the mechanics of that game in the sailcloth. Shield surfing starting at the Frozen Leaf. Bam.
The Frozen Leaf. Wow, so much
Snowboarding.
cooler than a boat.
It is both a smart ass and
You
a
can't
smart
do a
response.
fat 360 on a boat.
Yep. You can't do that.
And you get some big air on that thing. Damn.
You convinced him it's the best one in the whole franchise.
Yep. Even though it's like the place where you can do your your leaf snowboarding is very limited, they eventually expanded upon that one little mini game and made it a whole brand new feature in a future Zelda game. So, yeah.
Fair enough. So your favorite mount is the Frozen Leaf.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Honorable mention to Master Cycle Zero, which you can only get after you've done everything in the game, basically.
Which is kind of ridiculous at that point. Or what
So-
about Satori?
Mountain god.
Oh, Satori. Oh yeah, can you ride Satori?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah. Sarah
Just
did.
you can't.
Oh.
You have to go back to the mountain on that specific at that specific time again to get it.
Oh,
You have to
Yeah.
always go
Yeah, you
back there.
can't
As soon as you
register
get off,
in
it disappears.
game.
You gotta sneak up
oh, I
on
didn't
them.
realize.
Or a moose. Damn it! I could have said a
Yeah,
moose.
Mies. You can do the bears.
But you could ride the bears in Breath of the Wild.
Mhm.
Yeah, that kick you off pretty quick, but
Sidon.
Honestly,
Sidon is technically
that's
up.
my
You're
favorite mount.
Technically a mount. My, what a guy that's
Um,
Sidon.
So, next one, number 7, is favorite sage or champion. I included champions there because they're just the modern sages. And I firmly believe I have one that nobody else will say for this one. And I owe in part Age of Calamity to why I like this character so much, but my favorite sage / champion is Teba, the successor to Rivali.
Emo bird dad.
I love him. He's just so mysterious. He's like brooding, mysterious dad bird.
Mine is Darunia because, like I said, Gorons are my favorite race, and Darunia is the best Goron. So I will leave it at that.
Mine is Saria and Urbosa. Couldn't pick just one since you threw the champions in there.
Fair.
Oh, well, mine's Zelda. She's the last sage in Ocarina of Time.
Ooh, technicalities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also wrote Darunia because for the same reasons, Gorons are awesome, and he has those sweet, sweet dance moves.
Mm-hmm.
Hot. Respect.
Yep.
Number 8, we have favorite god or spirit. So for me, I'm doing Valoo from Wind Waker.
Oh, that's what you meant by spirit. I thought you were talking about like the things from Twilight where you collect the orb.
Yeah, those would have.
Kind of like those
Yeah,
things
or-
are lame.
Yeah, but even like the dragons from Skyward, like anything that's like a god or spirit character, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Baloo is mine. The big old dragon whose tail's stuck in the volcano from Wind Waker.
For me, I was gonna say Valoo, but I don't want to keep taking the answers that you gave, Jules. But I'll say the Great Deku Tree because shout out to my friend Andrew who couldn't beat the Great Deku Tree. Thought it was the most difficult level in video games. But anyways, Great Deku Tree. He's a cool dude. He was Link, like one of Link's only friends at the beginning of Ocarina of Time, and as a 4-year-old who played Ocarina of Time for the first time, I was very sad when he died. So.
Same.
And how many
Great Deku Tree.
spirits can you say? How many spirits can you say you've been inside of? Not
Oh.
many.
Oh my!
Well, we can say a lot of
Actually,
spirits.
there's another one. There's the giant fish.
So
Oh,
my
true.
favorite's the hero shade from Twilight Princess.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love the lore behind all that.
Mine is Din because I absolutely love the move Din's Fire, and I really wish they brought back spells like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say
That was our cat Poe, our black cat Poe. He's meowing.
I'm gonna have to say Nehru just because of the two sages in the of the two between Nehru and Din in the Oracle games, I felt that Nehru had a lot more characterization and was a lot more compelling than Din was, and yeah, I just thought that was cool.
Yes, agreed. Something in my Zelda shrine just fell. That's okay. It's just a little Link's Awakening thing. Just fell. It's okay. Favorite number 9. Favorite NPC / townsperson. So mine is Nico from Wind Waker, the little pirate who plays games with you. I love him.
Oh God. Okay, so I have 2. They're both from Wind Waker. They both made their first appearance in a Zelda game in Wind Waker. Beetle
Oh yes.
and Tot. Tot's the dancing dude on Windfall Island that's in like
Oh,
the
yes.
Elvis Presley
Yeah,
Elvis Presley
yeah.
jumpsuit. So he's like the grooviest dude in Zelda. So I think I'm gonna pick Tot actually if I had to pick one or the other.
Respect. My favorite's Agatha from Twilight Princess. I relate to her strongly. I used to dress exclusively in Lolita when I was in high school. So I looked just like her, and I have the same passion for bugs. She's all around the best. Like,
In fact, we have a framed butterfly and a beetle to put up in our new apartment. So.
I'm a collector.
Ooh. See, I
I
have.
guess. Oh,
Oh,
Wait,
Adriano,
Gino,
it's your
now your turn.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I heard Adriano talking.
For me, it's like 2 point. Like, I love Cafe from Majora's Mask because he's a cool character design. He's got red eyes, and we never know what he looks like as a human. I would love to know. That would be cool. And you can actually play as him. That's unbelievable. And especially in the randomizer, you can actually play as Cafe for the whole game. And it swaps your instead of Cafe being in the game where it usually is, it's replaced with Link in the randomizer. And my second favorite NPC would be Japaz from Majora's Mask. It's the bass playing Zora player, and because you can do a jam session with him and make a song with him. But if you play that song in front of Evan, the band leader, as a Zora, he'll be pissed at you and say, "Why are you making songs behind our back?" But if you play it as any other being, like a Goron, Deku, or a human, he's gonna steal that song from you and pass it off as his own. But there's some history of that, I think, like jazz history of why. Because sorry, I'm going on about this, but Evan, the band leader, he's named Evan after a jazz pianist, Bill Evans from the '50s, and he wrote songs with Miles Davis, and Miles Davis used to write his name on Bill Evans' songs. So he used to kind of like steal his songs and pass them
Oh, a
off.
little bit of history.
I think I think that's why that happens. Yeah.
Now here's the question though: is Cafe an NPC when you play as him for a brief, like 10 seconds?
I was thinking that. I was like, you picked the one other character in Zelda that you can play as.
Yeah.
If you do that optional side quest.
You can also play as
Fair
Medley.
enough.
You control her.
Technically, yeah, and Makar.
Oh, yeah.
And Makar, yeah.
And statue.
And
And
statue.
random
You can also play as Seagull in Wind Waker.
Yes.
Yes.
Seagull.
Yes.
Definitely.
Aw.
Yes.
Seagull number 843.
Okay, so for my choice, I kind of mentioned it before, the bean guy that sells you the magic beans, and he's just like, oh, these things are worthless. Oh, these things are a little bit better, and he just slowly rips you off more and more and more to the point where like the magic beans are like worth more than life itself. I found that very funny. But there's also the sploosh kaboom guy on Windfall Island.
Kaboom!
Sploosh. The battle from the battleships mini game. I really like that whole thing. That entire section of Wind Waker makes or breaks your speed run, and I just thought it was really, really funny. Playing through that the first time, and he has multiple personalities with the different picture frames around his face. I just thought it was funny. Yeah.
My
Bean
question
guy
is,
or Splish
Bean
Kaboom?
guy is I've always wondered, like, what's Bean guy eating? Is he eating the beans?
Yep.
He's eating the beans
You must have the
that are
fart.
all the rage.
He has magic farts.
The more you eat, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat more beans with every meal. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Gino.
Silliness aside.
Okay, so next one is number 10, favorite iteration of Princess Zelda. So for those of you who may be casual Zelda listeners, while Ganon is almost always the same individual throughout the timeline of Zelda, Princess Zelda and Link are almost always new individuals. So we're looking for who's your favorite version of Princess Zelda. My favorite version is Tetra. I like Tetra.
Spoiler.
I don't care.
We've been through this, Gino.
18-year-old game.
Yep.
My favorite version of Zelda is Tetra. I thought it was, as a kid, I wasn't keen on picking up narrative hints, and I thought that was the Sheik moment for me as a kid, because for me, I never had the Sheik moment because I knew Sheik was Zelda because of Smash, whereas Tetra was not the same.
I also
was a
played
nice
Melee
moment.
first. Yeah.
Jules. Tetra was my pick as well for all the reasons that you just said. That blew my mind as a kid. So
My favorite Zelda is Breath of the Wild Zelda. I think she has the most character out of all the other Zeldas. She gets the most story. I'm not saying that the others aren't equally as important to the story, but I don't know. We see more of her. I like her. She's cool.
My favorite Zelda, I think, like many others, is Smash Ultimate Zelda. Because she actually looks exactly like Sarah, in my opinion. I don't
That's
know. Does that make
flattering.
me a simp? Or...
Yup.
So then that's Link. What is that? Link to the Past?
I guess Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds.
Yep.
I didn't even think of thinking about like using like the Smash art. Just okay. I'm gonna have to say it's a tie for me between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. I don't know, like Zelda's kind of like doing shady stuff in the background in, I guess in Twilight,
And
while
both of them.
she's also like scheming and trying to like she knows she can't trust Zelda when she's a kid, and she sends a small child who is also her age on a dangerous quest that could potentially that could potentially kill him, just to prove her idea was right. So I thought that was like, you know, sticking to your guns and kind of like putting the entire fate of your country in two small hands of a child. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fair, valid. Okay, so then question 11 is which is your favorite iteration of Link? For this one, my favorite is the Hero of Twilight. I do like the Twilight Princess version. I think he's the most selfless of all of the um, the Links because it doesn't feel like he's doing this for any other reason other than to just save people that were close to him. Like he's literally like, "Oh, these kids got kidnapped. I'm gonna go rescue them."
Also, he's a
And
cowboy and probably has a southern accent.
and you get to see him sumo wrestle.
Topless.
Blew
For
my
me,
mind as a kid. I was like, "What? Link without a shirt on? Is this allowed?"
Yes.
my favorite version of Link is the Hero of Time. He's like Hero of Time's the most classic version of Link, and he is, no pun intended, he's the most timeless. That's the best design I think Link's ever had in the game, is the Hero of Time. So
This is the one question I refuse to answer. It's like asking a mother what her favorite child is. I already told y'all that my favorite character was Link, and I meant Link. All of them. All inclusive. I love my mans. I'm not answering.
Which one did grade 8 Sarah draw more of?
Skyward Sword Link.
Okay, there you go. There's your answer.
I have to agree with Mateo. My favorite Link is from Ocarina of Time, the Hero of Time. Why? Because we play as him as a kid and adult, and it's just, and you know, you can also do that in Smash too, Young Link, and I thought it was really cool that Young Link was in Smash. And yeah, he looks the coolest, and even the developers' wives did agree that he's hot. So
I think Nintendo, like, they won't say it, but I'm pretty sure they designed Adult Link from Ocarina of Time. Miyamoto's like, we based his design from like a Hollywood celebrity at the time, and everyone says it's Leonardo DiCaprio. So.
It is. Yeah. Specifically from Titanic, and Ganondorf is based off the main dude in Highlander.
Oh wow!
Yeah. If you look at his not his artwork, but if you look at his model, it looks exactly like I don't know. He's got like a huge forehead.
Yeah.
Damn.
See, I was gonna. I can understand why Adriano would pick Ocarina of Time Link, literally because he was playing as Ocarina of Time Link as a child, and he's still playing Ocarina of Time Link as an adult. He's been playing that game for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
My favorite Link has to be Breath of the Wild, though. Most expressive. You get to customize the entire outfit to be whatever you want, plus all the different tints and shades that you can get to make Link basically. So not only can you get the right look that you want, you can also get the right colors and everything. So that's a big reason why I like Breath of the Wild Link the most.
And he also has a story reason for being quiet.
I didn't find that out, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, I just have one problem with Breath of the Wild Link, and it is actually the Tunic of the Wilds. I think that is by far the worst design Link has ever had.
But it's like
And
Zelda 1.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys listen to the Hub World's five essential NES games, you will get my views on Zelda 1. So
Well, it looks really good dyed.
Yeah.
Can you dye it?
Yeah,
Oh
you-
yeah,
you
I
can
bet
dye-
my navy
dye all
blue
that.
looks awesome.
You can dye the Tunic of the Wilds?
Yeah,
What?
try it.
Are you joking?
I'm not
Is this a
I did
joke?
it. It's on my Instagram.
Oh my god. This changes everything.
No, it doesn't. Okay, next question.
Okay. So we're on number 12 now. So this one will require a little bit of an explanation, but I don't think it'll require any more explanation than what we've already kind of been doing.
Yeah.
But this one is your favorite dungeon item and explain. So this one I couldn't really think, but the puzzles I like the best across the series, which connect to this dungeon item specifically, is the mirror shield. I really like the mirror shield in Ocarina, Wind Waker, and Majora's Mask.
It is a good
So I'm
choice.
gonna say, and I do like the look of it because like you spend most of the game with the same shield, and you get kind of sick of it, and then when you get that shiny new shield by the end of the game, you're like, oh. So mirror shield for
It
me.
also can't get eaten.
Can it? Oh yeah, true. I didn't think about that.
So, for me, Twilight Princess was like the first Zelda game that like kind of like you have the bombs, you have the boomerang, the bow, like the classic Zelda items. Twilight Princess was the first Zelda game. Yes, it had those items, but it brought new items into the Zelda series that we haven't seen since. We probably never will see again. But they were really creative, and for me, it's the spinner. The spinner, I think, might be one of the
You're lying.
items. No, I love the spinner. I know
Joe really likes that thing.
I love the spinner, and you know what? Like, I know it's completely useless after the Arbiter's Ground, and so is like the Dominion Rod and stuff. Like that was a problem Twilight had, but
You can use those in your world.
I know, but like there was no other use for it, like in any other dungeon really. But like the spinner is friggin' cool. Like Link has his own like Beyblade he rides around, and like you can attack. You can attack with it, and I just found like the creativity of the spinner is just like something that I don't think that they won't do it again because like it was so negatively received. So, but I really enjoyed it.
Bro, yes, that's also my favorite. I put the spinner down too. There's nothing
yeah.
more fun than that item. I love that item. This is kind of a spoiler for the rest of my couple more of my answers, but that dungeon, that item, that boss, oh my god, that just brings me so much joy. It's so much fun. It's so different. It's kind of stupid, and that's why I love it.
Yep.
I was gonna write spinner down as a joke, and it's so funny to hear you guys like it, but that's okay. I'm not judging. Not judging.
And you say Twilight is one of your favorite games, Jules?
No, the thing is, I like closet like the spinner. Like I like it, but I always was ashamed because I was like, no, everybody thinks it's a joke. But I feel validated.
This is a
now
no
knowing
shame
that
zone,
others
okay?
like it.
Everybody, I don't know this. I love that item.
My favorite is Mirror Shield also.
Damn.
Yeah, I love that you use it against the boss. And I love what it looks like when you fight Twin Rova with it. It's like, reflecting the attacks like that. And yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like the original better than the second version for Ocarina of Time. And I actually really hate the design of the Majora's Mask one. They used a different one. In fact, I always wanted to look up mods of how to like change it to look like the Ocarina of Time one. And I like how you receive it too. It's like a gift from the goddess. Like on one hand you have the silver gauntlets, and the other hand you have the mirror shield. I thought that was pretty cool. And same in Wind Waker too. It's like the way you receive it is like something holy and sacred. Yeah, and it looks really freaking cool. And also in A Link to the Past, I feel like the golden shield that you get kind of looks like a mirror shield too.
It actually is the mirror shield.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is.
I like that golden hue. Yeah.
So, can I go on a bit of a story for my favorite one?
Absolutely. That's why
See,
the "and explain" was included.
Yes. So, I might go a little bit further though. That's why I'm just asking.
Go,
Okay.
You
go
do
for
you,
it.
Gino.
Okay, I have consent. Anyway, that did not come out right. Anyway, so in the time between Ocarina of Time and I want to say Twilight Princess, because the game in between was really just it was a sequel. It wasn't a main it wasn't a main game. Let's be honest. Anyway, Adriano and I were really really good friends, as we still are, and we would draw these little pieces of paper, and they were kind of like mini 2D Zelda dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like flexing our creative juices and stuff, and we were like planning this whole like fan game and stuff when we were in like grade 6 and 7. And I distinctly remember drawing what looked like a hook shot, but it had a little grabby claw from one of those from one of those crane games at the end of it. And this was like a good 3-4 years before Twilight came out. And I went to my local the original Canadian version of Target was called Zeller. So I went there and there was a Nintendo rep, and I happened to have my drawings with me, and I showed this Nintendo rep. And basically, like, elementary school Gino was convinced that when Twilight Princess came out and the claw shot was in that game, they stole my idea and told Mr. Miyamoto. Even though, like, a random
That's
Nintendo
exactly
rep
what
in
happened.
Canada
That did happen, yeah.
Now,
would fly over to
here's the
Japan
thing.
and say, I need to stop the presses, stop this dumb hookshot thing. We got a better one. It's called a claw shot, and I stole it from a child. That was
Now,
my
here's the
headcanon.
thing. I've known you for a long time, Gino. I've heard this story many a time. And there was a time where I totally believed it. But now, having worked as a Nintendo rep, I could tell you right now, they don't give a crap what we say. Not saying that in a negative way, not crap on our employers, but I'm saying we represent them as a brand. We're not giving ideas. Miyamoto ain't
Hey,
listening to some random in Canada.
Maybe back
Maybe
in the
back
day,
in-
that was the idea that made Nintendo adopt that policy.
Yeah.
Like, we can't let this happen again. We can't be bested by a child.
Yep.
It's still, I'll tell you a funny story.
So,
This is
oh
no, go
but
ahead.
I'm not
go ahead.
done yet.
No,
So
go ahead.
you had the single claw shot, or whatever, and then like playing through the rest of Twilight Princess, and then you get 2. That blew my mind. Double claw shots.
Double.
You get 2.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I like that concept.
Yeah. Anyway, that's mine.
Okay. Good answers. So we are on number 13. Favorite thing to keep in an empty bottle. I'm gonna go with Granny's soup from Wind Waker. There's
Grandma's
nothing
soup
like
is the
Granny's
best.
soup. You can drink it twice. Before you get hit, it doubles your attack. And when you're playing in hero mode, it's so much more efficient than a fairy because I just fought Wind Waker Ganondorf last night, and the berry wouldn't do it. He did too much damage. I had 2 fairies. I still lost. I had to go get some soup. But Granny, this is the one thing. She's rigged or not rigged. She's a hypocrite, or I don't not a hypocrite. What she's a fraud. That's the word I'm looking for. She says take as much soup as you want as long as you have an empty bottle. She won't give you more than 1 bottle of soup. You can't just stock up on 4 soups.
That is like the opposite of what nonnas do.
That's what I was gonna say. This isn't a real nona. A real nona would send me home with 4 fucking empty bottles of soup. Give me more.
Was that the game?
Should give you the bot. I'd give you $20.
Was that the GameCube Wii U version you were playing?
I was playing the Wii U version.
I wonder
I
if
played
they-
on hero mode.
I wonder if they
Yeah, I
changed-
think maybe they did because I could have sworn I could get more than 1 before.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But yeah, so that was I love Granny soup.
Grandma's
So-
soup. That's a good one.
This may come from a shock, but actually my answer is something that comes from Majora's Mask.
Oh.
So I do not like the Deku Princess in
Oh damn.
Majora's Mask. Not a fan of the character, and the fact that you can just store it in a bottle and just close the lid on the bottle, it feels right. So I'm gonna pick the Deku Princess.
With the deck.
Wow.
And you
Yep.
can never let her out.
Just a captive. Your favorite item is out of spite.
Yep.
Get the Deku Princess in the bottle, shut off the game, never start that save file again.
Yep.
Keep her concealed.
I
My
actually
favorite-
think that's where I ended the game on Majora's 3D. I actually don't think I could progress beyond that point.
Let my girl go. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. My favorite's also Granny's soup for different reasons. I think Granny is just really adorable. I think it's adorable that Granny makes you this soup, and it's like one of the most badass items that you can have. And I don't know.
Well, mine's also from Majora's Mask. Mine is Chateau Romani. Because
Oh, damn.
who would not want 3 days of infinite magic? Imagine light arrows, doesn't use up any magic. You just shoot them normally. Win a KO, 50 rupees each time. It's a dream in a randomizer. Yeah.
Yeah, Chateau Money. That's a good one. See,
Yeah.
I have two. I have two things. The favorite thing to keep in the bottle. One is nothing, because you can still keep aimlessly swinging, and you can use your bottle to defeat Ganon.
It's true.
Just having air in the bottle allows you to swing the bottle and hit Ganon's tennis ball back at him, and you
And
can
Phantom
technically
Ganon.
use that to fight the boss. Second of all comes from A Link to the Past. You can put a bee in a bottle and just release havoc. It's basically a mini cuckoo.
That's true.
It flies around and it
Cool.
attacks enemies. You can put a bee in a bottle. I like that.
You can attack bosses too.
And you can just have a pet bee.
And
Isn't
you can
there
put
a
a
golden
gold. You know
bee?
what? Scratch that. Golden bee. This is
Yeah.
the golden
The
bee.
original Pokemon.
Yep, the bee.
Catching bees in bottles. Okay, so next one is favorite mask from Majora's Mask. Now, I don't know if we want to let's not put a limitation on this one. Anyone's okay. I'm going to say Camaro's mask just because it's weird. And I know how to do that dance.
Very well.
I'm gonna say Bunny Hood because not only does it make Link run faster, but it lets me get through the game faster.
My favorite is the Donkero mask.
Because she loves frogs.
Because I love frogs.
That's a good one.
My favorite is the Keton mask, as many of you know, I own one. And I just love how, I don't know if it's because of the expansion pack, but in the game, it gives off a golden sheen. I always thought that was pretty cool. And once again, in grade 6, my OCs had that mask. It was pretty cool. And it does kind of look like Pikachu. And in fact, when you wear it and show it to Princess Zelda on Ocarina of Time, she asks, "Oh, isn't that pocket monster?" Which leads to my number 24th question, but we'll get there.
We're not even we're at 15. We're not even at 15, bro. Anyway, for me, I like the stone mask just because after when you're playing Legend of Zelda, you just don't want to be bothered by enemies sometimes. Like, look, I got my full hearts, I got my magic, I got my items. I don't want to waste it fighting a bomb chew. I don't want to waste it. Just throw on the stone mask and run past all that shit. It's very helpful. Honestly, I actually went to go grab the stone mask before I was supposed to. I say supposed to. And I just used that to just sneak past all the guards in the pirate fortress because I just could not be bothered with the stealth.
Man, I didn't know that existed in the game, and I did it without it in the pirate fortress.
Hey, that's the way that I'm sure that the developers intended you to do that, and just the way that
especially in the 3D version, they put the guy right in there.
Yeah, he was supposed to be off to the side somewhere else and kind of alone in the Icana area that you wouldn't normally go to until later on.
Yeah, just as an aside to this, because I recently was playing through Majora's Mask, and I've only played it a handful of times, but the circus leader's mask or the circuit troop leader's mask is so useless. You can the only thing it does for you is it makes it so that when you're going from Romani's ranch, you can bypass that, like the what are they called, the
Gorman
brothers. The Gorman brothers won't attack you if they see you wearing it, but you can only get it after you've already completed that quest.
It has a use in the 3DS version.
Does it?
Yeah, it gets you an extra bottle.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So they added something.
Wait,
there
how?
you go.
When you wear it in front of the Gorman brothers, I think after you talk to Gorman who's like having a hangover in the inn. They give you like this bottle full of herbs that's supposed to cure hangover. You give it to him and you keep the bottle.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was like, is this in the original? I don't think so.
Well, there you go. Now I know it's not as useless as I thought. I can keep more air or bees. Okay, so next one is going to be like a discussion one. So, favorite dungeon and explain why. Now I already know I have the same one as other people. But my favorite has been and likely always will be Arbiter's Grounds from Twilight Princess, the old like Gerudo prison where they at the top of it holds the Mirror of Twilight where they tried to execute Ganondorf, and the whole just like the concept of the temple is very similar to the Forest Temple, which was one of my favorite from Ocarina of Time in terms of like collecting pose, but then goes into this like crazy cool, just like sand temple. And just like I've always liked the sand temples. Like I love Stone Tower Temple, I love Spirit Temple, and Arbiter's Ground is just the coolest one. It's so awesome. So that's mine. Mateo, you gotta take it away.
I was gonna also say Arbiter's Ground, but I will not say it, just for the fact that I want to say something else. I'm gonna pick the sand ship from Skyward Sword.
Another sand one. That's good.
Yeah.
Really?
The sand ship, I think, once again, like I'm a sucker for like something new in a Zelda game, and I just found like the setting is just so unique, and I love well, it's going to be a spoiler for another question later on, but a specific element of the dungeon that I really 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 like, and but like even the level design too, like I just really liked the puzzles in that dungeon, and I can't wait to replay it once Skyward Sword HD comes out, because I feel like I remember it more fondly than it and now, but it might not actually be good. So, but I'm willing to vouch for it right now. We'll see.
Yeah, the sand ship is really cool.
The boss sucks though. I'm not a fan of the
hate
boss.
the boss
really
that looks
sucks.
like Mike
Yeah.
Wazowski's girlfriend. I was just
Yeah. Yeah.
The bosses in Skyward Sword are awful. I'm gonna say it. I hate them all, but I ain't trying to be different. My favorite dungeon is also Arbiter's Grounds. I love Arbiter's Grounds so much. And I'm typically not really a fan of like desert scapes in video games. But this one really surprised me. It's so entertaining to play through. It's one of the only dungeons that I don't kind of feel like this again, because I've already played through all the Zelda games multiple times. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, I'm so excited to get to Arbiter's Grounds. It's so much fun. I get the spinner. I get to fight Stalor. Like it's great. And the drama, it's wonderful. Leads to a really cool cutscene after. Solid dungeon.
Yeah, my favorite is Spirit Temple because I love that you play it as both child and adult. And
Yes.
yeah, and it contains my favorite dungeon item. And I like the song that you get for it, Requiem of Spirit. I hate the Desert Colossus. I hate the levers so much. But yeah, Spirit Temple, I love the music most of all. It just fills me with strength, and I just feel like meditating to it. It's such an interesting piece. Yeah, and just the design of it is pretty amazing. There's so much in there. There's so many chests in there. It's just oh man, it's a dream for randomizers again. It's so many.
Man.
And I didn't know this until I played the randomizer that there's two invisible chests on both times that you go up to. There's two invisible chests. I didn't know about that from before.
Man, that temple is like one of my favorites, but playing it in Master Quest is such a drag. It's so bad in Master Quest. It's such a maze. But I love Spirit Temple.
A lot of sand love here. I don't think Anakin would like us very much if you're a Star Wars fan. Like,
Gino, 5 for 5 sand.
yeah, all the sand. I'm actually gonna have to say Stone Tower. I
There you go, sand. We got it.
yeah. Well, it's not really sand. It's more like rock.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ground. it's the ground type dungeon. Let's go with that. I really like the stone tower just because the whole idea with it, like, really is you get you can flip the whole thing upside down and then it becomes a dungeon in the sky.
Oh yeah.
And you basically have to go through everything all over again. So not only do you have to remember where like all the rooms and everything are, but you have to also do it instead of reverse, you have to do it upside down, which is really interesting, and it changes how the room and the boss is in the upside down version of it also, which is really cool. But yeah, I thought it was just a really neat take on the dungeon, and really it's the only good one in Majora's Mask. Like,
Yeah.
all the dungeons are like in my opinion, like the Majora's Mask dungeons are all in like the bottom half, bottom third, except for Stone Tower. It's one of the best.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I really like how the music changes too. Like it sounds.
Oh yeah, like
very upside down.
it's a lot of really little subtle things that kind of like affect it, and like even the enemies that flip upside down when you shoot them with
Yeah.
the light arrows and stuff too. Like little, like, it's just good stuff. And the boss fight in that dungeon too, the twin mold, really cool, with like where you get the giant mask and you swing around and stuff. It's good. I
Yeah.
like that one. Let's
Yeah.
go with Stone Tower because it's good.
Is the place where you fight the Garo Master the same room as the boss room, just flipped? Because there's that hole in that room in the sky. I wonder if that's the same room.
It probably is.
Ah, cool.
That's interesting. Okay, so next one, keeping on like the topic of environments, is our favorite overworld. Mine is, and I know this might sound like a bit of a cop out, but I'm gonna say it anyway, is Breath of the Wild. It's the biggest. There's tons to do. I love the overworld. I love how connected it is. I like how you can interact with it in ways you never thought imaginable, and that's mine.
Well, the whole game is like an overworld, so but um I would like I think that's the logical choice, but like if I'm not gonna pick the Breath of the Wild game world, I would pick the Hyrule Field from Twilight Princess, just because I love the Hyrule Field song from, or the theme from Twilight Princess. I think it's like one of the most epic tracks in all of Zelda, and I like the horseback battles that you do there. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I don't know how specific we're getting because I just wrote Ocarina of Time for this one. But if we're getting down to specifics, my favorite would be the Lost Woods area. Just for the nostalgic value, I remember I picked up Zelda for the first time when I was 4 years old, and I could not do anything for myself, and I wandered around the Lost Woods
Same.
forever. So it just has so much nostalgic value for me. I got so much pleasure out of just walking around aimlessly.
Oh, same. Like I didn't pick. Like I played Zelda, but I just could not. I could not. Yeah, I got my neighbors to beat it for me because as soon as I encountered a Redad, I never picked up that game again until I was a teenager.
Seats, I tried to talk to them.
Tell me about it. The
But
bottom of the
one-
well.
Oh my gosh.
Nightmare
Yeah, the
fuel.
dead hands.
But one thing I do remember doing is wandering around the Lost Woods and playing the Ocarina song. And in fact, I kind of use that little exercise when I teach piano. Follow along. Like I'm going to play this note, they're going to add another note, they're going to add another note, and then see if they can play it back. It's actually a pretty good music exercise. All right, and that brings it to me. My favorite overworld is Termina, because I don't know. I always get a sense like there's so much culture in that world. Like it's just like the designs, the patterns, the color. Like for example, Astral Observatory, all that color and what's going on there. I can't imagine seeing that in Ocarina of Time. And when you go to Clocktown, for example, like on the walls, it's almost as if it's tattooed with those designs and patterns. And I love how well, that brings me to the next question. But yeah, I just love how there's culture, and even with every race that's there too. Yeah, pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. I have to agree with Giuliano on this one because it's not a cop out. Breath of the Wild's Hyrule Field is the best one. There's so much stuff to do. Just the way, exactly what Jules said, the way you interact with the world, the way you overcome problems, and it's also just unlimited wallpaper fuel. So if you have, you just like look around, you take a screenshot, and you can set that as like your desktop background
Unlimited
wallpaper or
wallpaper
something,
fuel.
right? Like it's just there's so much cool stuff to do. There's so much cool stuff to see, and just like like bringing like I hate to bring up the pandemic in the middle of this, right? But like being able to explore outside in a video game,
While inside.
like exactly, while inside is best done in Breath of the Wild.
True.
And all the Easter eggs, like all the names of things from previous games. I thought that was
Yeah, and
cool.
even just
Yeah.
like the landmarks and
The
stuff. Like for
layouts.
instance, the mountain that's split in half is the one that was drawn on like the insert manual for Zelda 1, and they actually made it a thing.
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
seeing the ruins of what seems to be Lon Lon Ranch and the old Hyrule town that was apparently the one from Twilight, like, and just like the mountain, like Satori's kind of little grove, like where like the tribute to Satoru Iwata at the top of that mountain where the spirit rests underneath the cherry tree and everything there. It's beautiful. It's great. Breath of the Wild definitely like amazing. Like the world itself is its own character. It's great.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. So we're at 17 now, so we're about halfway through. So in sake of time, I'm gonna say let's shave down discussion points to just the main ones,
Mhm.
and just kind of power through the next few. So, next one is number 17, favorite town. I have written down Clocktown, for many of the reasons that Adriano has already shared.
I picked Windfall Island from Wind Waker.
Nice.
I
I
think,
also have Clocktown.
I have Clocktown as well for the same reasons.
I have Terrytown because you build it.
I love
Nice.
Terrytown.
Very good one. I love Terrytown. Okay, number 18. Favorite mini boss. I have written down here to keep with our Twilight Princess theme, the Death Sword, which is the creepy Poe in Arbiter's Grounds with the massive
Yes.
sword.
Yes.
Yes.
So, just going back to my point where I said Sandship was my favorite dungeon in Zelda. The reason why I like that dungeon so much is because of its mini boss, Servo, the pirate dude that you fight on the bridge, and I just thought that was super epic. So, Servo is my pick.
Mine is the Deku Toad. Follow me at Deku Toad on TikTok.
And mine's the Garo Master. But I liked him more.
Mm.
Oh, wait a second. He always looked the same, didn't he? Or did
Yeah,
he
he
look
did.
different from Majora's Mask?
Yeah, they only changed the mask.
Mask, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Garo Master for Adriano.
Mhm.
And for me, I picked Wart because it is a 2D Zelda boss that transitioned into 3D Zelda as the mini boss in Great Bay. Oh, the only good thing about that dungeon. The mini boss.
Rude.
These Majora's Mask
Mad
dungeons.
respect, Gino. Nice.
Yep.
What do you have against Majora's Mask? What did it ever do to
Everything.
you?
Oh,
Everything. Don't get me
Okay.
started.
Now this one might have a little bit of a discussion point, but a favorite boss, and I wrote and explain why. So if you'd like to share a bit, again, I assume that I'm going to be sharing this with a lot of people. Mine is Stalord from Arbiter's Grounds. I'm actually not going to explain why because I'm sure somebody else will explain why. So
No,
Uh,
explain
yeah,
leave
it
it
to
at
me.
that. Design is a big one. He's just cool.
He's cool.
yeah. I picked Stallard also. I just think the scale, like the scope of that fight, is unreal. Like you like fighting him in the pit, and then then you have to like use your spinner on the wall and bounce from wall to wall. I just think it's just so epic.
Yes, I'm living for the Stalord love. Stalord is supreme.
There's many phases of him, too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I like Argarok, Twilight Princess, the armored
dragon.
dragon. It's cool. You take it to the sky and use those 4 pillars to get around. Yeah, it's just a really cool fight.
Hmm. I'm surprised I'm going to be the only one to say this. Easily the best boss in Wind Waker, Mulgara. The music, the ambiance of that fight. It was that's like the Mulgara song was my ringtone on my cell phone throughout all of high school.
Wow.
And there was a really nice marimba cover of it on YouTube that I watched. Maybe we'll link to it here. but I really love the song of that fight. That boss is just epic. Sand is falling from the sky. There's this giant whale eel sideways mouth monster with an eye for a tongue. It's just silly, but the music and just like the hype that boss garnered, like it was great. I love that boss, Malgera.
No, isn't Majora just Volvega, but in a different skin? Okay, that one actually went quicker than I thought. But okay, number 18. Oh no, that was number 19. So we're actually on number 20. So number 20, favorite mini game. Now you can interpret this however you want. I wrote down hide and seek from Majora's Mask and Wind Waker when you're trying to find the kids. I enjoy the hide and seek.
Jules, I don't know how you could enjoy that.
That was awful.
It's painful sometimes.
You can shoot them.
Damn, what?
You can shoot
You're
them.
shooting kids?
Yeah, you can shoot them, bomb shoot them. You can blow them up. You can spit at them with the Deku bubble, and it stops them.
Yeah, that's the best part. Is just hunting down
Spitting on
children.
kids.
That would stop me too if somebody started shooting at me. I'd be like,
So I just I'm looking at my pick and I just realized like how ironic what I just said was, but or what I'm about to say is going to be. But Bombchu Bowling I think is my favorite mini game. I succeed at it, and I guess I don't suck at it, so that's probably why it's my favorite.
my favorite mini game is the cat hunt in Twilight Princess,
my God,
where
I
it
forgot
is
about that.
spaghetti western music and you talk to a bunch of cats. I love that so
that's
much.
good. That's solid. I forgot about cat hunts. That's a good one.
My favorite is the slingshot shooting gallery because I become a pro at it. I know wherever they all are, and I love how like when the rupees they explode, it's like little tiny rupee shards. They look like little rupees. Yeah, and I always like even if I miss one or two, I love that you can just redo it for free.
Yeah.
Oh, but I also love the treasure chest game where also you can tell me you need the lens of truth. I really love the wallpaper in each room there. It's really cool. I would love if my own house could look like that. That's cool.
Yeah. My favorite is the Sploosh Kaboom, just because it's basic. It's Battleship, and Battleship is fun, and the funny noises and the shopkeeper is just very enjoyable.
Okay, next one. Number 22. Favorite. Oh no, sorry, 21. I'm getting all my numbers mixed up. Number 21. Favorite side quest. Now, my favorite side quest, there's so many, so I couldn't remember all of them, but the one that sticks out for me is Terrytown from Breath of the Wild, for the reasons Gino said before. Making a town is cool.
Yeah, I picked Terrytown as well. I just love the fact that like you also like you bring all these different people from all around the the vast world of Breath of the Wild together. It's just I think that it's then when the opening or like the dedication of the town is also like one of my favorite moments in any Zelda game.
Yeah, I also picked Terrytown for my favorite. I had a really hard time adjusting to Breath of the Wild because I had such high expectations based off of my nostalgia for the previous Zelda games. And Terrytown was like the one thing that really stood out to me as something that was like classically Zelda. I've since moved on from my criticisms of Breath of the Wild after I played it multiple times and just appreciated it for what it was. But Terrytown still, I love it.
My favorite side quest, if you can call it side quest, is behind the waterfall in Majora's Mask.
With the otters? With the otters?
No. So the waterfall shrine in Icena, I should be more specific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they fight all the mini bosses in a gauntlet and you get heart containers. Heart pieces, I should say. But one thing I do hate about that is that I gotta fight the freaking Wizrobe like 5 times in that game. But yeah.
And I think I'm going to course correct here and also say Terrytown. Just to add on to what Mateo was saying, you get to bring in all of these fancy and wacky characters, and the one thing that unifies them is that their name contains the word sun. And what was the building code for? Oh gosh, the building code where like they can only invite people that have the word sun in their name. I thought that was really funny, and after I finished the Terrytown quest, that became my home base for pretty much everything in Breath of the Wild. Thoroughly
Best place
enjoyed
to
that.
buy arrows too.
Yeah,
And the Helene shield.
Yep.
and all of the items that you would have probably thrown out and only get one of.
Yeah.
Yep. Like if you
Um,
got rid of your clothes and stuff from the beginning of the game, or there was a unique one of item, like the sweater and stuff like that, you can buy it back from the Sheikah merchant there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on number 22. I think I got this one right. 22.
Yep.
Favorite Zelda amiibo. For whatever reason, you could say for functionality or for design, whatever you want. I'm doing mine based off design, and I gotta say, I think my favorite one to look at is the Young Link amiibo from Smash Bros.
Jules, that is young Link from Ocarina of Time, not Majora's Mask.
Yes,
I'd like
he's
to
in
just
my
point that
Ocarina
out
of
right
Time
now.
shrine. Yes, he's
Yes.
in my Ocarina
So,
of Time shrine.
There's
not
a
my
very
Majora's Mask
important
shrine.
detail also.
yes. My favorite is oh geez. I think my favorite is Twilight Princess Link. That's my favorite pose. I think like on like all like the different like renders of Link that Nintendo's released throughout the years. That's my favorite pose Link has been in. And I just like Gino and I were hyping Twilight Princess up so much, like and back in like 2005, 2006, and um, it just that image of Link was one of the only images we had to look at for a really long time, and they made that into an amiibo. I have like the Twilight Princess Link Figma, and I have like I put him into that position as well. I just think it's really cool. So, and the detail on it is amazing. Just like all the Zelda amiibos for the most part, the detail on them is fantastic. They're all like some of the best looking ones.
Yeah, my favorite is the Wolf Link amiibo. But this Skyward Sword Zelda one might be replacing that. I don't know. She's super cute.
My favorite one is I guess it's the Young Link one, but I thought it was Majora's Mask is holding the Goron mask.
Yeah, that's the Majora's Mask one.
Yeah, and I also like the Ocarina of Time one where he's holding the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. I personally like the Guardian amiibo the most because it's actually posable. And every now and then, what I'll do is I'll go into Mateo's amiibo shrine and I'll actually have because he has the Guardian lying like on the actual amiibo base. But what I'll do is I'll like use the wires and the legs to like prop it up and make it stand. Every now and then, he hasn't checked in a while, so maybe he'll see that the next time he looks over there.
Yeah, mine is standing. Mine's always standing.
It definitely is not standing. I was just looking at it, so don't try to trick me.
Okay, well, you never know. You might have to go check later. But yeah, the Guardian amiibo is definitely a good one.
Okay, now here's a fun one.
It doesn't have a quality of life feature hidden behind a $25 paywall.
Okay.
Shots fired.
I'm not gonna. That could be a whole nother topic. I'm not gonna get into why is a mute point.
Yeah.
Anyway. This one will probably be fun, but your favorite piece of Zelda merchandise that you own.
Does it have to be
This one's
official
hard.
merchandise?
I'm like literally no, like whatever you have. I'm looking at all my stuff and I'm just like, ugh.
The collection.
Mine's got to be at the end of the day has to be my replica of the Majora's Mask. It's just so well made that every time I've ever moved homes since I've owned it, I've had like a heart attack that something's going to happen to it. It's like the one thing that I take separately, like on my own, and I'm just like, this can never be broken. Like I love that thing, and it's so creepy and eerie, like sitting on my wall.
Awesome.
So I actually have two. One is in my house and one isn't in my house. Because I'll go with the one that isn't in my house. For my birthday one year, some of my other friends that are not on this podcast right now got me a fan made like banner or scroll, and it's got like I think it was the I think that came out in the 25th anniversary of Zelda. It's not officially licensed by Nintendo or anything, but like
Yeah.
it has all the characters from games from like Zelda 1. I think I don't think Skyward Sword's on there, but so Zelda 1 the Spirit Tracks are on there, I think. And
Skyward Sword Fi's on it. It's when they
Oh.
released Fi's artwork, but we hadn't gotten any other details.
yeah. So it's super friggin' long, and our ceilings aren't tall enough to accommodate it. So when Giuliano moved to his new place, I said, "You can indefinitely borrow this scroll, and when I come by, I get to look at it." So
And you can
it's a
enjoy it.
win-win. It's a win-win for us. But the nostalgic pick for me is my ocarina from I think I bought it at EB Games like 3 years ago. They released it. As a kid, I always wanted my own ocarina. Like I just remember reading the advertisements in the Nintendo Power magazine, and of like, dang, I want one, but I could never. Like I was stupid. I didn't know how to get it. Like I didn't think about like asking my parents to buy it for me or whatever. But now the fact that I'm older, I can buy the things that I want, and saw it there at EB Games. I'm like buying it right now. So yeah, it's something I've always wanted. It's a bucket list thing for me. So my ocarina is my nostalgic one.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I also have two. So my first would be my Twilight Princess GameCube. I got it for Christmas in 2006 or 2007. I love that thing. It's beautiful. I always have it somewhere where I can see it. And my second, I don't know if this counts, but my very first cosplay, completely handmade, was Malon. I was like 12 years old when I made it, and it's really special to me. And I don't know, it's just a cute little nostalgic thing that I have.
My favorite merch is I actually bought a handmade Keton mask, and yeah, just like Giuliano, I'm scared when I move because my parents moved everything from the house. I hope it's still somewhere. Really. Yeah, Keton mask. Yeah.
Are you too sure that there isn't something else that you have that isn't your favorite piece of merch?
My engagement ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys both
Another
forgot about
engagement
that.
ring.
I'm just sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say, and then both of you missed that opportunity. I'm just like, what?
Oh, I didn't even think of it until you said that. Oh my god, no! I have the most beautiful engagement ring in the world. I know. I'm unappreciative. I know.
Wow.
So beautiful. It looks
Wow.
like, your basic engagement ring from the top. I'm flexing a little bit. Some beautiful jewels, and then when you turn it the side, both sides has a Triforce on it with the light beams. It's amazing, and I love it so much.
It's like something Princess Zelda would wear. I had my eye on it for years, actually, since the day I met her. So I've been on it everywhere. I saw it
wonderful and
online on Etsy. I'm like, is this still available? Can you please make this available? Can you guarantee me it'll be available in
I
4
was
years?
in the room when you sent that email out, and the person's like, "Yo, this is gonna be in like what 4 or 5 years. I can't guarantee
Yes.
anything."
Yes, and it was available, and I got it.
Yeah,
Only because I
guess I
didn't
will.
let him propose until recently.
yeah. Anyway, my favorite piece of merch is also something that Adriano gave, and that's the Eslo hat that I have.
I forgot.
Oh,
I got
that's
that
so
for you.
cool.
I'm like, Adriano was like, "Hey Gino, what do you think of this Eslo hat?" I'm like, "That's cool, but I don't want one." And then on my birthday, he got it for me, and I'm like, "I told you I didn't want this, but now I have it, and it's great." But
I
yeah,
guess I bought it for you already, and then asked you what you think of it.
and I'm like, "I don't want
I'm like,
this," and you're
"Oh,
like, "Too bad, take
no."
it." And no, Jules, you can't have it.
Okay, I'm finding the right combination of peanut butter to lethally inject you with. That will
You're not
leave no
supposed to tell the
trace.
internet things.
That's on record.
All right.
Okay. Number 24. Which Zelda character is your favorite to play as in Smash Bros? Mine for a long time was Sheik, until they split up Sheik and Zelda into separate characters, at which point I stopped liking Sheik, and now I just play Zelda. And Ultimate's design of Zelda is Bae, so now she's like the best character to play.
Mine is Young Link. I would have picked Toon Link if in the Brawl days, but or actually, did Toon Link get the slight rework in Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate? I think it was an Ultimate in Ultimate. So, but yeah, I would have picked Toon Link. I don't like the way Toon Link plays anymore, so I'm picking Young Link because it was the closest. It's the closest. So.
Is Link. I totally suck at Smash, so I feel like I can't even have an opinion here.
Oh no, I'm with you on that one, Sarah.
Yeah, Link is the only. I can only play as 2 characters, and that's Link and Roy. So Link was really my only option here.
Ganondorf, I'm really good with, if in my humble opinion. Young Link, and I also play as a Pikachu named Keaton.
Does that count?
We're counting it.
Yeah, okay, we'll count that. Okay,
It's cute.
we'll take that. Yeah, I'm also not good at Smash, and I just wrote Link because why not?
Hey. The hell?
I play as Bumblebee Nest. Does that count because you can put a bee in a jar?
No.
Damn it.
No bees in jars. Number 25. Which Zelda character do you play as in Hyrule Warriors? This can be from either one. I'm gonna go with classic Hyrule Warriors. I play as Twilight Midna. Again, I said earlier on, I love Twilight Midna's design. I think she's awesome. I like the fact that her moveset is her throwing bridges and stuff at you. It's like all the stuff she teleports throughout the game, and she just hucks it at people. So I'm going Twilight Midna.
So I'm gonna pick a character from Age of Calamity. I'm gonna pick Impa because she is OP. She the way like she can clear out like her ability where like she can make clones of herself or whatever. It's like and the more clones you have when you use your special move, it's even more powerful. So you can take out so many enemies at once, and it does a lot of damage to bosses. So she is OP, and that's why I played her.
Mm-hmm. Played Hyrule Warriors since I had my Wii U plugged in like 2017. I believe I used to play as Impa and Midna and Rudo, but that's all I remember.
Yeah, I haven't played much Hyrule Warriors either, but I really like Sheik and the way that you use the songs as attacks.
I really didn't play a lot of Hyrule Warriors myself, but Ball and Chain Link seemed really fun. Just swinging around this giant, this giant heavy thing to like throw at everyone, and you could get it costume to be a Chain Chomp. That was funny.
That's cool.
Cute.
Okay, favorite costume from Breath of the Wild. My favorite is, and it's the only costume I wore other than the standard and the costume like the Tunic of the Wild. Was the Sheikah costume you get in Kakariko Village, where you get like his hair in a bun and you got the like almost like chic kind of styled like pants and like suit. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I really wish when you scanned Sheik's amiibo and got his headdress, I really wish that it could actually count towards the bonus that set's supposed to give you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say that also.
So my pick is rooted in the fact that I once again I do not like the Tunic of the Wilds at all. So every subsequent playthrough I've had of Breath of the Wild, I think I played through it 3 times total. So I picked the Hero of Times outfit because it's the best Link, and I need to clean my brain of Tunic of the Wilds. I need the best outfit of Link in Breath of the Wild. So Hero of Time outfit. I don't care if it doesn't do anything or whatever. Its ability's not that great. It looks cool.
It's the same thing as Tunic of the Wild.
Well,
When you
it
fully
looks
upgrade
better.
Well, it looks
So-
better.
Really agree.
You can't dye it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Who cares?
My favorite is the climbing gear. I never use the actual paved roads in Breath of the Wild. That's what my favorite rune is Rivali's Gale. My favorite is climbing gear because I'm just always hopping over shit.
My
Honestly,
favorite,
yeah, the utility
Deity
gear in
one
that game
from
is really good.
Amiibo. Yeah, my favorite is the Fierce Deity one. I really like how in the DLC when it's like he's recovering memories, it looks really cool when like he's like it has a sort of phasing after image effect. Yeah. And I love the bonus, especially when you fully upgrade it. It's the same as the barbarian outfit. It's just extreme power. Yeah.
Yeah. My actual favorite is it's either between the barbarian gear or the guardian gear. I really like the way the guardian gear looked. It's kind of like ancient power armor almost.
Like
And
those
when you
cameras
have
are
the
really
when you have the accompanying like guardian like swords and stuff, it just completes the look of that set, which is really, really cool. And the barbarian gear, when you dye it like different colors and stuff, it makes like look really, really cool. And like obviously like a lot of the theories about the Zonai and stuff tied to that gear because like it was only found in the Zonai ruins and things. And it kind of looks like the tapestry of the ancient hero. Yeah, I thought it was really cool, the barbarian gear, and it gives you that attack, that sweet attack bout. So
yeah. It's cool when you dye it, it changes the patterns of the paint.
Yep.
That's cool.
I'm disappointed none of us said the Gerudo costume.
I have the desert bow on here, but the Gerudo costume is great too. I've almost cosplayed that. I got so close, and then I was too insecure about my tummy.
Yeah. I actually have a really funny story about the Gerudo outfit. I was on my way to work once, and we were on. It was Halloween, and I was on our public transit system, our kind of like our subway systems here, and there was a guy dressed up as Gerudo Link, and I'm like, that is actually a very like funny costume for Halloween. I had it like it was really funny. It was
That's
just really
amazing.
good. Shout out to that person if you were listening.
To person who wore a Gerudo costume on bus. So next one is 27. Favorite playable song from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. And I also tacked in Wind Waker here. I know when I told you all to prepare, I didn't have Wind Waker on there, but just favorite song you can actually play in the games. And the reason I tacked on Wind Waker is because mine is from Wind Waker, which is the Earth Gods lyric. I really like the Earth Gods lyric, the one you play with Medley. So that's mine.
Mine is super standard, super cliche. Song of Time. You can play it in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and doesn't really do much in Ocarina of Time besides like open stuff. But in Majora's Mask, the fact you can travel back in time is pretty good, pretty cool.
And
Very
all
necessary.
and all the variants of it too. I guess we'll
I'll
count those.
And my favorite is Saria song. Makes me feel the same way that Darunia feels when I hear it. That's about it. Don't do nothing, but I like it.
Isn't your Instagram based off of that? At Songs from the Forest?
Songs from the Forest, yeah, because that's a Darunia. The song from the forest. Totally.
Mine is Song of Healing, because when it's taught to you, the Happy Mask Salesman takes out a like triple decker huge piano that I can imagine what sounds that would create. And I'm a pianist, so I was extremely impressed. Like if anyone asked me why I like Zelda, I'll just show them that screenshot. And I love playing that song on the piano because it's got some interesting syncopation grooves and some strange harmonies that just work really well. And yeah, I almost teach that song to every single student of mine too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Song of Healing also. It has a lot of like very important nostalgia and sentimental value to me. When I was going through some tough times, I would just listen to it on loop for a bit, and it just made me feel better. But I do have to say that probably my favorite, like in terms for the games, is the Song of Storms. Just the whole little mini event and stuff that happens with that song, where Link inadvertently teaches that song to himself through what's his name, Guru.
Guru, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Kid Link plays the Song of Storms in the windmill. It causes and it screws up the windmill, and the Guru gets really, really upset at him and never forgets the song. And then when you actually learn the song as adult Link, Guru says, "Yeah, there's this one annoying kid that came here and screwed everything up." and he teaches it to you, but then you have to go back in time and play the song to screw him up in the first place. So that song exists out of time, and it's just a little paradox, and it's funny.
Yeah.
So now to keep on with music, what is your favorite piece of music? Period. And explain. Sorry, favorite Zelda piece of music.
Beethoven's Fifth.
Now these are the ones where it's like there's such an overwhelming amount of option that I feel like this might not actually be my favorite, but I can't possibly think of all the Zelda songs. But the two that poke out in my mind are the Ancient Hero song from Wind Waker. So that's the like introduction one when they're showing the recap of what happened in Ocarina of Time, and also Midna's Lament from Twilight Princess.
Yes, it's beautiful.
My all-time favorite song in any Zelda game is the theme that plays at the very beginning of Ocarina of Time on the title screen, where Link is just like, it's the piece that accompanies Link while he's riding the horse or riding Epona through Hyrule Field. That song is originally like, it's a little small tune that plays in Mario 3 when Mario uses the warp whistle, and Koji Kondo made it into made that little song into a masterpiece in Ocarina of Time. That song, like, to me, like, that is probably the most moving song in Zelda in my opinion. Like, and like, it's just in the title screen. Like, barely anyone, like, you don't even need to hear the entire thing if you want. Like, it's hidden, and I don't think a lot of people like say it's their favorite. So like, it's kind of like my little secret type song. I don't know.
Well, I put down the Lost Woods theme for this one, but y'all get it. I like the woods. I've already mentioned that multiple times. My other favorites would probably be Dragon Roost Island, and I love the Ballad of the Goddess. And
Yes, Dragon Roost is a good one.
yeah,
Dragon
that's a
Roost.
bop. That was the first song I learned to play in the ocarina.
Well, mine's a real headbanger. Every time you hear it, it's so refreshing to hear. It's different from a lot of other Zelda tracks. It's Gerudo Valley.
Oh yes.
Heck yeah.
Ah, yes.
Just that flamenco kind of rhythms. That's just polyrhythms. Amazing.
Yeah, Gerudo Valley is a very good choice. My personal favorite, as I said before, is the Malgara theme. I just that song makes that boss fight even better than it already is.
Yeah.
And it's a great boss fight with a great boss. Malgara battle all day, every day, most days. Let's go.
Okay, number
29.
29. What do you typically name your character? So I've named since I was a child my character the exact same thing in every single Zelda game until Breath of the Wild, where they removed the ability to name your character. And I gotta say, it was very difficult to play the game without having my character's name. But it's a very simple change. Instead of his name being Link, it's Linky with a Y at the end.
That's cute.
I don't know why. Me and my friend both named our characters Linky, and it's just been a tradition now, and I can't not name my character Linky.
I'm just I guess I'm nothing special here. I just named my guy Link. Thanks for Nintendo for thinking of me in Breath of the Wild, I guess. Forcing my will upon everyone else.
Yeah, I also named my character Link. I mean, I went through a small phase in middle school where I named my character things like Bitch Boy and stuff, but Link it is.
Link also.
I sometimes will name my character Link, but the majority of my playthroughs I just put my name, just because sharing a video game console with my brother, he takes Link, I will then just use my name.
True.
Therefore, Gino is the hero
Hey,
that Hyrule
but
deserves.
what ends up happening is Gino ends up taking the file over like he does in like 90% of the time, and he ends up getting Link anyways.
Hey, that only happened when we were kids. I don't steal your file anymore.
I think you
Pokemon
stole my
Snap
file
doesn't
in
count because
every
that was a
Zelda
co-op
game.
playthrough.
Gino, I would just like to point out to the listeners here that Gino has stolen my file for every Zelda game up until Breath of the Wild, because I bought the Switch with my own money, and I forbade Gino from playing it. So
I got to play on the Wii U version of the game with slightly
Yes.
longer load times.
As the
Yep.
younger sibling, I can heavily relate.
But
Mhm.
I'm the older one.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, no, Gino, I know you're the older one. The younger one always gets screwed over.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the.
I have a lot.
hand-me-down
I have a lot
console.
of stories about how I had to suffer through the reign of
Mateo,
Gino
you were player
when it came to
2.
video games.
Our files just get deleted, and we get the controller that's been chewed on by the dog.
No, well, my controller was chewed on by Gino.
No, it wasn't.
Yup. My GameCube controller was, but
Yeah,
No, it
my
anyways,
wasn't.
controller was neon
No, it
orange.
wasn't.
and the
That wasn't
sides were
me.
missing off of it.
Okay, let's move
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mediate because we got 5 more questions to get to.
Yep.
Okay, so this one should be pretty quick. Which Triforce piece do you feel most encompasses who you are, or which one would you want? Mine would be wisdom, because I am both weak and a bitch.
Mood.
Wow.
That is the best way I could describe my cravenness of being scared.
Well, Jules, if you recall earlier today when I was writing my answers down, I asked you what powers do you gain from the Triforce pieces, and you told me basically nothing, or like you didn't know. So
Pretty sure you
uh,
don't.
yeah,
Like a few,
so
but-
I am. I guess I would pick power, but I wouldn't be a dick like Ganondorf. So
I want courage. My anxiety says no.
No.
So I'm the mom friend. So I'd be wisdom.
My favorite Triforce piece is the last one that you get in Wind Waker.
good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
I just got that. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but okay.
The Triforce quest. You have to like pick up all the pieces from the
Okay,
ocean.
Okay, yes, I understand now. Yes, that makes sense.
My favorite one, I would have to say, is power. Also, I would like to see. I honestly would like to see what would happen if they reversed which pieces that each of the Triforce trio would receive in the games every now and then, just to see what would happen. But yeah, power.
That'd be
seems like
sick,
the one-
actually.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool idea. Don't steal it, Nintendo. I know you already took my claw shot.
Yep.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here
Or
first.
maybe you
Triforce
didn't.
Power. Or Triforce of Wisdom Link. Let's go.
Okay, so these last 5 will probably be pretty big questions. So 31, your most played Zelda game. Which one have you played the most? And if you can give us a number, that would be great as well. Although I know some of us might not have numbers.
And some of us can't count. How
So
many times we've played the game.
Adrian.
Hint.
Yeah.
Mine is Twilight Princess. I've probably played that game upwards of 15 times. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know exactly how many times I've played through Ocarina of Time, but I think like Ocarina of Time for sure is the Zelda game I played the most amount of times. I include the N64 and 3DS versions.
And just like sheer hours, are we talking?
Probably hours and like total times from beginning to end.
I was thinking total times beginning and end, but you can interpret the question however you'd like.
Yep.
Mine is definitely Ocarina of Time 2. If I'm correct, I believe I played through Ocarina of Time 12 times.
Oh my god! And mine is also Ocarina of Time. I played it numerous times on its own. I've done glitched runs where I've done it reverse dungeon order, 3 hearts. I've done mods and randomizers numerous times. There's Nimpai's mod. There's Dusk and Dawn. There is Master of Time, Voyager of Time. Just so many.
You can't count.
Nightmare.
There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm making YouTube videos of those currently.
Yeah, Adriano's channel is Cosmos Plays. If you like Zelda and if you like randomizers, go check it out. We will link his channel here. And yeah, no worries. Yeah, we just got to remind the editor to drop those links in, whoever it is.
Mhm.
For me, I can't really remember. Like if we're talking sheer number of like hours in the game, it would be Ocarina of Time, but that doesn't really like involve gameplay. That's just like me running around like beating up the Deku shrubs and like killing things and just running around doing the mini games. Playthroughs also like I only really played through the games like once or twice each. A Link to the Past is the one that I've played the most like frequently because like growing up as kids we didn't have a Super Nintendo in the house, so my dad had a PC that he put a bunch of like arcade Nintendo and Super Nintendo games on. So I played a lot of A Link to the Past through that emulator. But I have to say, like, Minish was probably one of the games that I also spent a lot of time running through and playing, and I really liked that game, and I really liked the world of Minish Cap a lot. It was a really good 2D Zelda game, and I wish that they
Yeah.
kind of did more with it. But yeah,
Okay.
any of those three, yeah.
And now number 32 is your favorite narrative. So which Zelda game had your favorite narrative? This one was tough for me. My gut wants to say Twilight Princess, but my heart says Wind Waker.
Hmm.
My heart is just with Wind Waker. I love the tone of Wind Waker. I love the like clash between like the way it looks and the actual like content, because like it's arguably one of the most mature Zeldas in terms of how it approaches the lore and like the messages it sends, but it looks so cute.
Hmm.
For me, I think I'm torn between Wind Waker and Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time, but I think I would go with Skyward Sword. Um, I th- I really like the fact that like Link and Zelda are kind of like they grew up together and they like they go on this like they go on base they both go on their own separate journeys throughout the game. I like what they did with Impa. I really like the whole story about like the creation of the Master Sword and the founding of Hyrule. Spoilers, I guess spoilers for Skyward Sword, but I just like that it was like the first. It's like the first game in the series, kind of canonically, and I just there's so many things in Skyward Sword I can't wait to re-experience with Skyward HD. So
Hmm.
for me, it's Skyward Sword.
Yeah. This is also a really hard one for me too. I still haven't really picked, to be honest, but probably the entire connection between Ocarina of Time up to Twilight Princess. I hate to pick like a whole branch of the timeline, but I love that entire part of it and how they connect and how the story just unfolds and how it's told throughout. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, my favorite is Ocarina of Time, just because of the story and how like every single place and item has a bit of a background to it, a bit of history and importance of why it's there. It's not like you just go into a dungeon, oh, there it is. No, it's actually like a story behind, the light arrows, the Megaton hammer, the ice arrows. It's like a treasure to the Gerudos. Everything has a kind of history to it that's explained. You don't just pick it up and oh, there it is. Or and certain places too. Like for example, yeah, more than A Link to the Past. Like you see something crazy, but there's no explanation for it. Like for example, the place where you read this tablet and you get the medallions, right? There's no explanation of why that's there or who put that there, But okay, time has all that.
Mm. I really don't know what to pick for mine either. Just I guess because I spent a lot of time in Minish, I really like the storytelling that they did with that one, where like okay, Vati was this uh Vati's origin. I really like the whole aspect of like the Minish. You get to just like Eslo's whole arc and story throughout that game, as well as just like the founding, like the creation of the Four Sword from the Picori blade and everything. I know Minish doesn't really get a lot of love, but I'm just feeling Minish today for whatever reason. I really liked it, and I thought it was very fun. Where you get to like, okay, you're like the story unfolds over like the scale of Hyrule, like both the microscopic and yeah, your regular size and stuff as well, and it tells one really big story. Just a bit of a size joke there, but I thought it was fun. I'm feeling Minish. Let's go with that.
Okay. So 33. We only got a few questions left. So 33 is your least favorite Zelda. Which one do you think is the worst? Now, I would normally say Four Swords, but I'm gonna not say Four Swords just for the sake of saying something different. I'm gonna say Oracle of Seasons. I despise Oracle of Seasons. I think it's very bland. I hate the dungeon designs. I'm just not a fan of Oracle of Seasons.
Adri's trigger.
See? I can
Oh,
tell
no.
Adriano's very triggered.
Oh, if you guys want to get triggered,
Oof.
well,
Oh gosh.
so I think, I think it's easy to say, like Jules said, uh, Four Swords or Zelda 2 because it's so different, or like Phantom Hourglass because like the touch controls some people don't like. But for me, I really, really do not like Majora's Mask. Like,
Wow.
I really do not like that game. I would have preferred an expansion to Ocarina of Time. And I know we didn't get the disc drive here, but like I would have preferred to continue that story in that, like, because like I do not like I don't think there's enough dungeons in Majora's Mask, and none of them are really that great except for the Stone Tower Temple. I don't like the bosses in that game. Like all the bosses suck, and Jules recently replayed the game and he agrees with me now. But and I just think like
Just to butt in, I don't agree that Majora's Mask is the least favorite. I agree that the
No,
bosses aren't good.
the bosses, yeah. But then and then I also like I really, really, really like I'm not the biggest fan of side quests in Zelda games, and for like and basically Majora's Mask, if you don't go through all the side quests, like the game's pretty short and there wasn't a lot there for me to do. Like it Ocarina of Time to me, like we'll say it like that's gonna that's my answer for another question later on, but like such a high from Ocarina of Time, and I just don't think Majora's Mask came anywhere like close to it. And like I think it's other Zelda games are just better. Like to be honest with you, it's just there's something. It's not my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
I've tried. I have tried.
Mateo's tried a lot.
My best experience with Majora's Mask was watching Adriano's randomizer of Majora's Mask.
Still got to release
So-
that. So.
Well, that's controversial. I hate to be basic after that. Y'all can call me a noob, but my least favorite Zelda game is Zelda 2 because it is just simply unplayable for me. I suck so much at it. I can't get past basically the first portion of the game. So I cannot really have an opinion on it because I can't play it. So I don't like it for that reason.
I am triggered. I love Zelda 2.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's a great game for people who
Yeah.
don't suck like me.
It's tricky. I hadn't get
Can't
to
play it. I can.
For me, it's got to be Spirit Tracks. I have never played it. I never will play it.
It's
I can't
cute.
imagine Link on a train. I can't imagine a locomotive sword. Like, what the hell?
It's cute.
No. And a pan flute. Okay, but and a conductor. Oh, a conductor. It's just. Sorry, I just cringe at it.
I like it.
It
I
was
love
actually
Spirit
quite
Tracks.
fun. It's definitely
I'm trying
better
to blow into the mic.
That's a
The
cool
place.
mechanic, but still.
I think it's an adorable
I don't
game.
think I'm gonna play that game ever.
Zelda
I will
has a
say Spirit
companion.
Tracks is better than Phantom Hourglass. I will say that.
I like Phantom.
I disagree. I love Phantom Hourglass. I'm sorry.
I
That's
didn't
also
like
controversial.
all
It was
the
a cool
backtracking.
successor to Wind Waker. I felt customizing your ship and such.
It's not miss. Both of them
You can
are. I
customize
totally
the
agree.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah, the train
But
is
it's a
cool, bro.
train.
It's a freaking
It doesn't
train.
belong in.
It's industrializing. It's cool.
I guess
it.
Adriano went away.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It
Anyway.
is fun. And Zelda
Anyway.
has more of a character in that game than half of others.
Anyway, I have to say and I will almost agree with Giuliano. I will say Zelda 1 is the worst out of all the Zelda games. Strictly because
What?
honestly, every other Zelda game after Zelda 1 did something better than Zelda 1.
That's because Zelda
that
1 was
makes
the worst one.
It
Like, I'm just so-
Yeah, like
I think that
For
was the
instance-
goal, Gino.
Yeah, I know. Just Zelda 1 is just it's too slow by today's standards for like an action game. The loading between like area of the map to area of the map. The items are basic. The world map is basic. The art has aged, in my opinion, very poorly. I know it's very nostalgic. Like if you're using it for pixel art and everything, it's great. But like collectively as a game, Zelda 1, I just don't like the way it looks, and it has this weird. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. And I can also say that's probably why Giuliano doesn't like the dungeons and the layout of Oracle of Seasons, because Oracle of Seasons was originally a remake of Zelda 1, and if you overlap the maps, everything is in the exact same spot. And the dungeons pretty much line up one for one also. So just
I think you're stretching. I think you're trying to use me against me.
I did not say that. Do not quote me.
yeah, but I do echo a lot of Mateo's sentiments with Majora's Mask, but I can't hate that game is because it's like one of the founding games of my friendship with Adriano. Ocarina of Time started it off. Like we made like
Actually, linked to
a
the past.
Majora's Mask like scale model of Clocktown in grade 6. We had this little design a city project thing, and we made like a thing of Clocktown with like shapes and stuff. It was quite fun. So I can't
That's
hate
really
Majora's because
cool.
of that. Yeah.
That's actually one of our first interactions too, was Majora's Mask. I drew
Building-
Anjum Cafe, and he commented on it, I guess trying to flirt with me, saying, do you want to make a couples mask together? And I was trying to turn him down, but he took this as flirting. Tell me if this is flirting or not. I said, yes, then we can give it to a 10-year-old and die 30 minutes later.
That's hilarious.
That's not flirting, that's hilarious.
I mean, it worked. But at the time, I was flirting.
I love that. It's hilarious.
That's great.
Uh,
That is great.
brilliant. I'll use that one next time.
But Link saves the world, so we don't die.
Okay, so number 34 is your favorite 2D Zelda. Now, ironically enough, my favorite 2D Zelda is Oracle of Ages. I love Oracle, and I think that's why I don't like Oracle of Seasons, is because Oracle of Ages, I like absolutely love everything about that game, the story, the dungeons, just like the gameplay, like everything about that game just is phenomenal to me. And then Oracle of Seasons, by comparison, is just like this is the shitty version of what the other one was, in my opinion.
Bro, that's like saying I hate Pokemon Sapphire, but Pokemon Ruby's my favorite.
I know, right?
There's a difference here. There's a distinct difference here.
There it is,
But I do love Oracle of Ages.
Very
So yeah, Oracle of Ages is my favorite 2D.
My favorite 2D Zelda game is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I think that game holds up to this day like incredibly well. It's the level design in that game's fantastic. The dark world and like main world, I love that that mechanic of like hopping between the two, and like the soundtrack's fantastic. So many series like staples of like for songs, locations, items, everything came in from Link to the Past, and it's a fantastic game. Like it I cannot say enough good things about Link to the Past. Like I was so happy that it got like its own sequel in Link Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds is a fantastic game. It's probably my second favorite 2D Zelda, but I still have to go with Link to the Past.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is actually my favorite 2D Zelda. I actually played a Link Between Worlds before I got around to playing A Link to the Past. So it just holds that kind of like first experience for me. But they're both amazing games, and I agree. They're probably my 1 and 2.
So my favorite games are actually the linked Oracle games. Playing one game and finishing it in the other. Yeah, I love both Oracle games. I love that you can go back and forwards in times, and like that you can change the seasons, and that opens up and closes parts of the map. I thought that was amazing. Yeah, and when I make a D&D campaign, I really want to use those elements, and as well as Dark World too. I want to put everything in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Mhm.
And yeah, I guess where mine is, I have to agree with Mateo on this one. It's A Link to the Past. That was my first Zelda game, and it has always been my favorite. It was also one of the first Zelda games that I was able to complete actually on my own. Also, we had the Game Boy Advance version of the game, and I was able to play through it beginning to end. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, the sound quality and stuff they had to make, like for instance, they added the young Link soundbite of Link when he swings the sword, like ha ha. And if you go back to the Super Nintendo and play it, it's just a whooshing noise. Link is completely mute in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Link to the Past is my favorite 2D.
I'd like to point out Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, another game Gino took my file in. So
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that was like
Oh
where
my
it
God,
started.
yeah.
But I did
So-
eventually go back and do it all myself.
This is just a call out Gene session.
Most of these are, sorry.
I had to get my own Nintendo DS because of this. So
It was a real
But anyway,
problem. Hey,
yeah.
but because of that, Mateo got back into Pokemon.
Yes.
That's the story for another day. Last question.
So, number 35 for the Zelda 35th anniversary is, what is your favorite 3D Zelda game? Which I'm sure any of you listening could probably make educated guesses based off of each of us, based off of all of our answers. Mine is Twilight Princess. I don't think it needs explanation. I've already said how much I like Midna. I've already said how much I like the bosses and the locations. But Twilight Princess is my favorite. I also am obsessed with wolves, and Wolf Link is cool.
Yeah.
Valid.
I love wolves too.
ESP.
Mine is Ocarina of Time. Obviously, it is to this day. It's like I think it's like one of the most perfect video games I've ever played. Like it's it like what more could you want? Like it's the story is timeless. It's epic. It's grand. It's like kind of like a wish fulfillment like thing where like a child becomes an adult, but then the child has to become the hero. It's like it's so cool. I like the lore behind Ocarina of Time is fantastic. It's just the items, the music, everything about that game. It's Nintendo firing on all cylinders. Like, and it's particularly like the 3DS version. I think that's the definitive version of it if you play it. So, but like that game is a masterpiece.
I agree. My favorite 3D Zelda is also Ocarina of Time. It's the first video game I have memories of. It's extremely nostalgic for me. It is the perfect game. From all the time that I've spent playing it, from all the times I've spent, making things from it. I've made a replica of the Megaton hammer. I've made the fairy bow. I've assisted in making the hookshot. I've made multiple Link tunics from that game. I've just spent so much time on it. I love it so much. It's very dear to my heart. Forever my favorite.
Taylor's gonna hate me for this one, but my favorite is actually Majora's Mask because of all the previous things I said about it, but also I think part of what makes it really good is the side quest because you interact with almost every NPC and there's just so much emotion involved. And the soundtrack's really good. My only complaints I will say about it is I don't like the format of learn a song, enter the temple, learn a song, enter the temple 4 times. But that being said, about the temples, I do prefer those 4 temples to Breath of the Wild's 4 temple designs.
That's not saying much.
Yeah.
No
It's
offense,
like
Breath of the
comparing a
Wild.
rock to a slightly smaller rock.
Yeah, and it was quite challenging, especially the 3-day format. And I really love that. I love that clock system to it. Imagine they were actually thinking of doing a whole week, but they narrowed it down to 3 days. I just like how everything is time based. Things open and close at certain times. It's really interesting to me. And yeah.
Like Groundhog Day, the video game.
Hey, you guys got to watch Ben Drown. Then it's been updated these days. The story.
Damn.
It's 2012. I'm sorry. We're talking about creepypastas now.
Hey, the story's been continued.
You gotta watch Ben Drown. He's cool.
Yeah, it
It's
continues.
okay.
in
I don't need
2020.
to
The
learn
story,
about
it's amazing.
pastas. Anyway,
Forget what you thought you knew about Ben Drown.
my favorite 3D Zelda, probably, I'm gonna just keep echoing with the crowd on this one here. Ocarina of Time. Without Ocarina of Time, you wouldn't have Majora's Mask. Literally with the assets or with the story continuation, right? Like Link goes
I'm going to clap back at you, Gino. Without Legend of Zelda 1, you wouldn't have Ocarina of Time.
Exactly. That's why Legend of Zelda 1 is the first and everything is better than it.
Exactly. So
Anyway.
that's why Ocarina of Time is the first, and everything's better than it.
No, we're not
I
getting into that
joke.
bloodbath
I
right
know.
now.
I'm
That's
just kidding. I'm just.
the
That's
video.
okay. Just
That is the
continue.
N64 video.
Continue.
That's
I'm
the
just.
bloodbath
I'm
we're
just.
talking about.
I'm
This
just playing.
video
I'm
we're
just.
dying on. Ocarina
I'm
of
just being
Time
a
is
troll.
the best Nintendo 64 Zelda game. Everyone else is wrong. I am sorry.
GoldenEye. I'm kidding. No. Ocarina of Time is the best.
Adriano, it's also the one that you've spent the most time in. So like, you have more hours in Ocarina of Time than any other
Because they
video
don't
game.
mod Majora's Mask. Every single game
I know.
randomizes, but they are long.
Yeah, I know, but those are like not the official release and all that stuff, right? So like, at least with when
Nobody
you were
said
doing
Link's crossbow training.
that's a mini game.
Thinking about making that joke.
We don't talk about
I
that.
thought about that.
We don't talk about that.
Reading my
Like
answers,
Pringles,
I
Rupee
think
Land.
In all honesty, though, I probably would have said Breath of the Wild, but I just like that game is just like I love it, but it's also like too big to like go in and do everything, and like the dungeons are just like eh. Ocarina of Time, great bite size. Exactly what Mateo said before with the 3DS version of that game being the definitive one, being able to equip and unequip your iron boots with a button push. Oh my god, that's just so nice. That is so
One
nice.
thing I really, really love about the 3DS remakes is the sky. Oh my god. I love it in the N64, which is saying something, but in the 3DS, those colors, you just don't
And you want to
see.
know something that's even cool? That's a really nice detail that they did with the Ocarina of Time 3DS version of it. They didn't remove the functionality of the ice arrows and make them only useful in one spot.
Yeah, that I didn't like about the ice arrows. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, 35 questions for 35 years of The Legend of Zelda. Again, thanks for coming in, Sarah and Adriano. It was great having you guys make your world debut here. Definitely, you guys should come back and join us in future topics. It was really fun having you guys here.
Fun. Thank y'all for including us.
Yeah. Jules, Mateo, do you guys want to do the anything else, or do we have anything else to go with?
Just remember, everybody, keep your eyes on Reddit and such if you're looking for the Hylian Shield Joy-Cons. You're never. That's the only way
Good
you're gonna
luck.
find it. Good luck. Keep your eyes peeled for those Zelda amiibos. Skyward Sword launches July something. I don't remember. And please look forward to the coming weeks where we will be doing E3 predictions, reactions, breakdowns, and such as we enter the big month of gaming. Again, thank you to Sarah and Adriano for joining us today and sharing their wonderful expertise on Zelda with us. And reminder to like, subscribe, comment, watch on Spotify, listen on YouTube. Reverse those. And most importantly, if you are a Geno fan, don't. And we will see you sometime soon. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
night.
Thanks for making it this far.